Ladies and gentlemen, I was looking at this article that I came across from The Atlantic, and it was talking about how unemployment will actually go through a second phase. We're in the first phase of it where we had mass unemployment across the country. 22 million people as of last week had filed unemployment claims. Well, this time around, a lot of people are sympathetic to people that lost their jobs. And of course, everything has changed. Your family life has changed because now you're all together with your children home all the time. And right now, the virus has not subsided at all in the country. But they're saying in the Atlantic, there will be a second phase of unemployment in America. There are many economists that are saying because the economy did stall out and is still really stalled at this moment, that even when they reopen, a lot of employers they're saying they may not take the same employees back. Some may be looking for somebody to do the work a lot cheaper, and they can justify it by the state of the economy. Or you left your job making one salary, but when they rehire you, you may be rehired at a lower wage than you got before for the same job. And there are a lot of people that make good money, but you may not even see a fraction of that when you return back. And in my opinion, that is a sign of an economic downfall where you're just going through another recession. Many of you might remember during the Great Recession, that happened to a lot of people. When they left their jobs, they had a ton of experience, but when they went back out in the workforce, they took work at a lower income. Well, they're saying that you may see a lot of this across the country. So, in the past few weeks, the United States has witnessed an unprecedented spike in jobless claims that has overwhelmed state agencies alongside a health crisis and an economic crisis. We are now entering a devastating period of mass unemployment, one that decades of research tells us will leave a deep financial and psychological scar for workers and families trapped within it. Today, Americans across parties recognize the need to act quickly to minimize the harm, but the bipartisan support will soon fade, as it has in past recessions. Having researched the experiences of unemployed workers over the past 20 years, we expect the coming unemployment crisis will have two distinct phases. In the first phase, the country will largely respond with a sense of solidarity and compassion for the millions who have lost their jobs. Americans will recognize the external forces, the coronavirus, and government policies to create social distance have triggered these mass layoffs. And they will see the plight of unemployed workers in that light. Those who lose their jobs will struggle to make ends meet in a standstill economy, but they will be at least spared some of the blame leveled against the jobless and other economic downturns. When more than 22 million people file for unemployment in a month, even the hard hearted will have trouble casting them as idlers or parasites. As a result, There should be sufficient political um, will to continue generous government support, perhaps expanding upon the $2 trillion stimulus package that Congress recently passed, which dramatically boost unemployment benefits and extend them to gig workers and others who normally don't qualify. Eventually, the outbreak will subside and economic conditions will improve. Yet, for workers who remain unemployed, the situation will worsen. We are likely to see a repeat of the unemployment crisis of the Great Recession, but the underlying dramatics will be amplified. During the second phase, companies will begin to rehire workers. If the past is any guide, many employers will use this opportunity to replace some of their former workers with cheaper and more contingent labor during normal economic times, slashing wages and stripping away job security prompts a backlash of protest and bad publicity. But lowering such labor costs is easy when the economy is stalled and workers are grateful for any opportunity. More broadly, the crisis will accelerate some long running market trends towards industry consolidation, automation, and okay, I see what they're saying. Replacing humans with automation. They're saying many companies will seize the opportunity to do that. Okay, even with the payroll subsidies that the stimulus legislation provides to small businesses, the prolonged shutdown will likely destroy many mom and pop businesses that have already suffered from decades of brutal competition with the likes of Walmart and Amazon. One thing that kept service jobs from being automated was the sense that customers preferred human interaction, but social distancing has enhanced the appeal of self service kiosks and even delivery drones. Once the pandemic subsides, people may go back to old habits, but corporations do not typically let such opportunities for cutting costs go to waste, as we have seen whenever efforts to organize workers prompt employers to suddenly bring in more computers and robots, outsource work to contractors, or move jobs entirely offshore. So that's what they are anticipating that many of these companies will do. It may not be a company for people to go back to. And like I said, when they start cutting salaries, they're going to justify the state that the economy is in now as their reason for cutting a lot of the salaries. Given how employers are likely to act in response to the economic downturn, many of those now laid off may well remain unemployed for a prolonged period. In particular, companies eager to hold down payroll costs will hesitate to hire back old and more experienced workers. They are likely to be left behind and remain in a jobless limbo long after the economy has picked up again. Just because they project this stuff, y'all, it don't necessarily mean this is how it's going to go. You know, they may have their plans, but let's face it, the Most High has his too. Okay. And he will win at the end of the day. When you look at oh, well, this is what we're going to do in the future. Shoot, it's hard to see a future at the rate things that are going as far as this economy is concerned. I'm focusing on the economy. And look at how many people is without health insurance now. Just like there is a mad dash for the unemployment, as soon as they open up enrollment for health insurance, your Obamacare, is going to be a mad dash for that. That's going to go off the charts, y'all. Probably for the first time since it's been available. And remember, Trump was talking about doing away with it. Let's see if he's talking that now, that things has dramatically changed in this country, because right now a lot of people are in fear of being sick because they fear, the medical bills behind getting coronavirus. And you can rightfully understand that. You're unemployed. Yeah, you don't need all these extra expenses, even if it's medical. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.